Ahoy gang, Frankie Dave back again on YouTube. Today on YouTube, I got parts number 7 for Battle Britain group build featuring my Airfix 124 scale Spitfire Mark 1. Today on YouTube I have the final priming done and pre-shading done. I'll let it dry before I start doing the finishing colors on it. Before I get started with the model, folks, I just got done reviewing Warren's 109 build, and he's not in the best of moods now. Not a very happy camper. He bought some kind of a primer, aftermarket primer he bought out, which I'm not familiar with. It peeled off the paint. He had it all masked down, ready to do some painting, because most German aircraft, especially on your Dunkergrau and also your dark green colors, which they used, and which were sharp splintered type camouflage the Germans used, and he was masking out his fuselage. I guess we moved the masking and pulled off the primer right to the bare plastic. And Stamen Sizzle, I'm with you, Warren. I know how you feel. I ran that problem like that before. So anyway, on his YouTube presentation for his update on his 109, I mean, I suggested that he would go ahead and just, if he doesn't anymore, he's going to have to use wet and dry sandpaper with plenty of water and take all that paint off right down to the bare plastic. You gotta go ahead and brush with brake fluid. Brake fluid will take all that paint off, no sweat. If you don't want to, make sure you don't get none on the engine. Brake fluid, just take a brush of brake fluid and apply it to all the painted surfaces. You don't want it to be painted. That paint will just ball right off with the plastic, and take some detergent and wash off the plastic real good and go back to your painting. I suggest to also go ahead and use regular flat black paint, flat white, mix your own primer. I usually go to Ace Hardware stores. The hardware stores all throughout here in Ohio, all throughout the U.S. I buy paint don't even belong on models, which as long as it's enamel, you're kosher. So I get cans sometimes. Excuse my back, folks. I get cans of paint like this, like Ace Hardware paints, and stuff like any hardware paint, Sears and Roebuck, any paint store that sells enamel products. Buy that. You'd be surprised how good it comes on your models. It'll save you tons of money too. Anyway, I hope Warren gets it all squared away. I worry about his build. The poor guy. He put his all into it to make it look good, and if something like this happens, it just really it takes the wind out of your sails. So anyway, Warren, you may have to do your two methods. If it comes off, buddy, you're just going to have to get yourself either some wet and dry sandpaper. You use plenty of water and sand it off, or just get yourself some brake fluid and put it in a small bowl, a disposable bowl. Take a good sized 1/4-inch brush or a little bigger, and just brush on the paint, and you watch that paint just peel right off. It'll come off that plastic as good as new as you never painted it. And start over. Just mix flat white and black and pre-shade with your black again. You're back where you left off. Your cowling, engine covers detail is beautiful. That yellow with the pre-shading really it's superb. It really spruces out the effect. Okay, guys, back to my build. On my Spitfire, I went ahead and I mixed myself up some gray primer like I suggested to Warren, using gray and flat back paint. Made a pretty good batch of it, and just went up about 4 coats of finished gray primer. I let it dry for a couple hours, went back to see if it was dry for touch. It's dry to touch. I went back and appreciated every panel that there was on the kit, undersides and top side. And so I'm going to let it dry. And while it's drying, after this video, I'm going to go back and work on my Albatross and get that up to snuff. It's all decal work on my Albatross, so I have a YouTube presentation on that later on this evening. So anyway, folks, right now we'll switch right back to the Spitfire. We'll go back to the building bench and show you how much progress on the update. So stay focused, boys. Okay, fellas, we switched over back to the camera. I'm zooming in. You can see the pre-shading that I've done. Every panel line that was on the kit was pre-shaded using black. That'll act as a shading and weathering effect when the paint is applied. It's done on the top surface, the under surface of the model. As I switch around on the starboard side of the fuselage, the same as the port side, the engine covers have been painted and pre-shaded as well. I just took them off to show you there was no harm done to the engine. Canopy's all masked down. The wheel wells are all masked down using tissue. My mask of choice. Uh, the engine is no overspray at all in the engine. I airbrushed around the gun fairings. You can see the gun fairings on there. So when I weather it, gives you the illusion of weathering from the chamfer from the 30 caliber machine guns. And I'll pick her up and switch her on the bottom. Well, you watch out for my radio mask. I'll bust that off. I'll be in a world of hurt. Yeah, I'll flip off my dummy helper right there. As you can see, folks, the bottom side is treated just like it is the top side. Landing gear is retracted. I got tissue inside the wheel wells to keep overspray from getting inside the interior green inside the wing. I'll back off a little bit now. I'm going to zoom in a little more close as I can get. All around the intercoolers and radiators all been highlighted with flat black. So I think that Sky Type S on the bottom of that wing right there, you'll see a lot of weathering on there, which will spruce up the model. Excuse me, folks. And the radiator front end on the right bottom of the right wing, that would be I'll give it a slight wash of gunmetal and also highlight with some silver when the model's done, completed. So that's about it with the pre-shading right there. And I'll get a little close in more so you can see small right there. Not very pretty sight, but it's effective, boys. You have to be too precise and too selective on making your pre-shading. As long as those panel lines are covered, you're in there. Okay, it looks like that's getting about it right there on the pre-shading. Turn around over here like it was before and back off with the camera. And that's like Brylcreem, boys. Little dad. There you go, boys. There's a walk around the update number 7 on my Battle of Britain Part 7 group builds featuring my Airfix 124 scale Spitfire. And before I close off here, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in again. And Alex, I hope you're getting some rest. Good sleep does wonders to a fresh mind and eyes. So get plenty of sleep, my buddy, and get some rest. Get back on the tube. We miss you. We miss your builds. And you'd be a new man, buddy. And like I said, Warren, just go ahead and shoot. You pull off that mask tape up here 109. More of that stuff's going to come off. It shouldn't do that, buddy. It shouldn't do that. Washing the plastic or leave it on like it doesn't make them. Never minds. The main objective for using primer is to prepare your model for your painting so your paint will stick to it. The primer will stick to your plastic. But that stuff you got right there, I'm dumb and dumber to this new market stuff. I don't buy that stuff. I stay away from that stuff like a new poison oak. You're just better off get yourself some enamel white paint, enamel black paint, mix your own primer. You save yourself tons of money, and go at it. So like I say, worst gets the worst. Either you wet sand the model down or get yourself some brake fluid. But make sure you don't put no brake fluid around the engine, all that detailing into the engine. And stay away from the yellow portion underbelly of your engine, of your cowling of your 109. You don't want to get none of that brake fluid on there. So best tip to do is just go ahead and mask off that yellow and stay about a good half inch away from it where it's masked off at. And start over, buddy. That's the only thing I suggest. I've been there and done that. It's a pisser. I know it. It's a pisser. Steam and sizzle. Been there and done that. And before you know it, you'll pick up after you left off. So on my update right there on my Spitfire, I'm going to go ahead and let it dry 24 hours, and tomorrow I'm going to start applying the finished color on it and go as the build follows. But right now I'm going to pay attention to my albatross. I got to get that out of the way, boys. I've been working on things for a month now, and all is ready now. Just put the decals on it, and she's good to go. And that would be that on that. So anyway, folks out there, again, I'd like to thank everybody for your comments. Thank you for tuning in, and happy modeling. And we'll catch you on the next YouTube presentation, boys. Y'all take care, fellas. We'll see you in a bit. May God bless.